Hi Aquarius, welcome to your March 2020 Love and General reading. I'm Gemstone Tarot. Valley Bobs joins us somewhere. She is asleep on the bed. Valentine, of course, is an Aquarius. She is my Aquarian cat. Thank you, Aquarius, for liking, sharing, subscribing last month. What do we need to know for you? I feel like things have been tricky for Aquarius for about the last 3 or 4 months. Feels that way to me. I am using the Mythic Tarot for you. It really felt like the right one to use. I don't always know when I'm doing a reading. Sometimes I'm like, this one, that one. But it was like, you will use the Mythic Tarot for Aquarius. Okay, what does Aquarius need? Oh my God, that's a lot of major arcana. Yeah. What do they need to know? Love life, general life, all of the life. This is good for you if you're Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or a cross-watcher. I always think if you're here, you're supposed to be here, and the messages are probably for you. Ooh. Aquarius. Ooh. Well, that's nice. Oh! We've got a lot to talk about. There will be an extended reading and the link will be in the description box. Ooh, let's get stuck in. There's a lot going on this table. There's a lot of energy for you, but there has been for ages. Whoa, I'm not surprised that that's your overall card. Ha! The Lovers. Now then, okay. This guy is deciding, I think it's Paris, and he's deciding between 3 women. And my God, you know, if this was his Tinder, he's got some hot babes on his Tinder because he's got none other than Aphrodite, the goddess of love, in the middle, Helen of Troy over here, and Athene. I mean, come on, you know, which goddess / beautiful mortal shall I choose? I've got an apple, who do I give it to? Now, if you watch my dailies, subscribe to my channel, by the way, wherever the button is, and hit the wiggly bell, you will know that I talk about fruit in tarot cards being something to pay attention to. When I see people clutching apples, something's afoot, okay? Because it's always, that's why clutching apples, it's always a symbol in mythology of tricky business. Okay, there's a bit of tricky business for you, Aquarius. Now, the Lovers, before it became the Lovers, and it represents Gemini, used to be called the Choice. Yes, and he's making a choice, you know, between 3 goddess women. Who do I give my apple to? They should do that maybe on, yeah, I think they do it on Match, don't they? You can give a rose. You should be able to give an apple. Who would you like to give your apple to? Okay, there's a choice, there's a sacrifice of some sort in this reading. Of course, you could be dealing with a Gemini. You could have Gemini rising, moon, or, you know, significantly in your chart. But I think the reason the Lovers is the Gemini is because Gemini is a dual sign. It's the twins, and it's mutable. So it's very changeable. Ooh, very changeable. It's very, it's almost like wanting 2 things at once. Now, we are still in Mercury Retrograde, and we're Mercury Retrograde in Aquarius now, I think. Have a look for the astrology on Cafe Astrology, because I am not an astrologer, but I know in February Mercury went retrograde in Pisces, then it moved into Aquarius. So, I'm not surprised that you've got 2 things, 2 people, 2 ideas, 2 roads, 2 whatevers at once. You also have the Chariot. Yeah, 2 horses, different horses. That camera battery ran out. 2 horses, 1 rider, okay? He has to keep this Chariot on the road. This is about, I would say normally it's about feelings, but I feel it's about making progress. In order for you to make progress, Aquarius, you have got to reconcile 2 very different things, okay? And it might be a bit of a battle. It might be a bit of an emotional battle, because when you've got Mercury retrograde in your sign as well, you are resolving things that sometimes have a foothold in the past, as well as the future and the present. Now, speaking of which, above Chariot, Judgment. Judgment. Okay, 3 bodies in Judgment, and there usually are. These 3 little sarcophagi who are awakening. Past, present, future, and a person is kind of considering it. Judgment is a card of very much major arcana returning, okay? 6 of Cups is the kind of equivalent that I would expect in the minor arcana. So for Judgment, we've got something returning to you, some kind of battle, dilemma, lover, person, choice, and you get to have a do-over of a decision. Now that doesn't mean that it's any easier than it was the first time, because I'm getting here for some of you, definitely, you had a situation with somebody. 7 of Swords. I know. Now, this person sneaks past this building with these swords, and in this particular one, he's captured all 7 swords. He's doing it at night, he's doing it by the moon, it's sneaky beaky, it's secrets, it's, for some of you as well, because I've also got the 7 of Cups, where Psyche is praying to Aphrodite to bring her lover Eros back. Some of you may have wanted someone to come back to you, okay? You may have, really wanted someone to come back to you, but you are very divided because something happened with this person that really put a hole in your trust. 7 is a kind of, for me, spiritually quite unstable but also magical number. You got those 2 7s together. Now, the 7 of Cups is also the card of fantasy futures and spinning a web and somebody future talking and making promises and not delivering on those promises, saying things and then not following up. It's a kind of misty, cuppy, it's that kind of thing where someone will say, oh, it would be, I love France. Oh yeah, we could get a villa in France, that would be amazing. And then never actually locking it down, or texting a lot, but not actually taking you on dates. That kind of energy. It can be any kind of conflux and confusion. But expect with the Lovers and the 7 of Cups and the 7 of Swords and Judgment for this to really come up to be reckoned with, because you've got a lot of major arcana here. We've got 4 major arcana. When you've got 4 major arcana, there are divine shifts and turns which are changing events. The minor arcana to me is how it shows up in your everyday life and how you might deal with it. But the major arcana is the more uncontrollable divine aspect. Now, the Chariot and Judgment together, that is wrestling. So let me have some of my disgusting drink. That's wrestling. Past, present and future are being reevaluated. But it's emotionally like a pinball machine. Now it is positive. I mean, the Chariot, Cancerian energy. Chariot keeps the show on the road. The guy keeps going. This horse goes that way. He's like, way, Nelly, get here. And this horse goes that way. He's like, oi, in you come. Sometimes he's like this, but the Chariot keeps going. The show stays on the road. Now, some of you might be dealing with a fire sign. Knight of Wands. The passionate hero returns. Here he goes. Dun. There's about a million different songs in one there. Here he is. He's got his torch blazing. He's passionate. It can represent fire signs. Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. But you could also be dealing with, to be honest, you've got water and you've got air here as well. So it's sudden. It can be clumsy, but it's clumsy in quite a passionate way. The Knight of Wands decides that he knows what he wants and he's going to get it. And he's putting on his flash armour and he's whacking on his plume helmet thing, you know, and he's lighting the wand. And the wand is on fire. It's not like the Knight of Swords, where the sword is going to stay whatever he does, because swords are swords and they're not dependent on the weather. When somebody's got fire, they've got to get there quick, because at some point it's going to burn out. Do you see what I mean? I know. If he was the Knight of Pentacles, he'd have his sturdy, reliable pentacle and he wouldn't be in much of a rush. If he was the Knight of Swords, the sword would remain. The two that are a bit more precarious are the Knight of Cups, who's carrying a cup full of water or something, and the Knight of Wands, because they've got the dodgy elements. They've got the elements that change, blow out, you know, set fire to things. So think about the character of the Knight of Wands. He can set fire to things. He can put things alight. He's exciting. He's chancy. He's unpredictable. He's passionate. Some of you know who this person is. And Aquarians are very curious. You're ruled by Uranus. It's the planet of curiosity and surprises, okay? Most people, when I was doing private readings, most people used to write into me, send me emails or do bookings. And I have to tell you, and I've told you this before, that the vast majority were asking me about Aquarians. I know, it was fascinating to me. What is this Aquarius person thinking, you know? And I'd be like, haha, how long have you got? Do you want the real answer to this, which is that you probably never know? So, Aquarians have a sense of curiosity. They're very good at problem solving in very creative ways. It's why a lot of inventors are Aquarius. But when it comes to your love life, Aquarius, you need to know, and you're going to find out, I think, in March, and this may have started last month in February. You need to know what's real and what's not. And I think that will be your mission, should you choose to accept it. What's real and what's not? We've got gaslighting, we've got future talking, we've got fantasy, we've got secrets, we've got some shade to be dealt with. And you may battle with it. You know, the Charioteer is not to be sniffed at. Charioteers were rock hard. I mean, they really had to get down on it, didn't they? Because you're talking two wild horses here. So expect emotional push and pull. Expect there to be some turbulence. And then throw Mercury Retrograde in Aquarius into the mix. And you've got the retro side of it, which is, and it's a cliche, but by God it's true, of people turning up from your past, things turning up from your past, things being dug up to be looked at again, okay? Judgment. Expect that 10 times over. Particularly in the first, I would say 2 to 3 weeks, in the first 2 to 3 weeks of March. Then we have this new moon in Aries. When is it? About the 24th or something. And it's an absolute joy to have, because I think it freshens things up. We've got the equinox on the 20th in the Northern Hemisphere. We've got new moon in Aries on the 24th. Boy, do we need it, okay? The new moon in Aries will cut through this confusion to some extent. Okay, the Nine of Cups. We save the best because this is a great card. Now, do you remember here she was praying to Aphrodite? Please, 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 please. And the Nine of Cups is a kind of wish granted. Here comes Eros. He's back. And they're exchanging cups. It's like a Two of Cups. And Aphrodite is toasting the union, okay? That's your emotional wish card. Wish is fulfilled. I think you need to be brutally honest with yourself in March what you want. What you will accept. And what is true to that wish and what is not. and you will find it tricky because it will be flamboyant. You know, that is someone bursting in on you. You know, it's someone turning up. It can be bumping into someone too. But we do have the sun. Some of you are dealing with a fire sign, okay? I love this card. Rules Leo. And it's just a Brucey bonus. I mean, it's a lovely card. It's magic, it's luck, it's radiance. And I do feel like you will come into, I don't want to call it clarity because it's not as simple as that, but you'll know. Knowing is not quite the same as clarity. To know, you don't always need clarity. Sometimes you just know. You've been waiting to just know for quite a long time. The Lovers. So when you make that choice, it may not be made rationally, which it normally would be. It may be made in a kind of gut sense. And then in the middle of your reading, the Six of Swords. Nice card. It is an Aquarius card as well. I think it's Moon in Aquarius. It's moving from choppy times to calmer waters. But that movement is not easy. It's easy once you get in the boat, but getting to the boat might be a bit tricky. Let's have some Chuck Spezzano love cards. Do subscribe to the channel, by the way, Aquarius, because I will be doing, have been doing loads of pick a card readings and also just random love readings and some live readings. And of course, there's my daily readings. Ooh. And make sure that the wiggly bell is wiggling. Even if you are subscribed, actually, it's worth having a look. Because on my particular YouTube subscriptions, I seem to have, all the wiggly bells have been turned off. And I'm like, why haven't I seen a video from that person for ages? I'm like, because YouTube has turned it off. Okay, Chuck Spezzano love cards, withdrawal. That might be you, it might be them, it might be both of you, okay? And drought. Some of you might have been I love that card, might have been experiencing a dry spell, okay? But also particularly with regard to this particular person, it feels like you're in separation from this person, if I'm honest. Then we get the luck card of adventure. Now in the love sense, this for me is about dates. So for those of you that are in a complicated sort of situationship with somebody, don't be turning down offers from anyone else. And Aquarians are generally quite good at this, okay? They can keep their options open. Keeping your options open is probably what inspires this person to get on their horse in the first place. In the extended reading, I am going to look at Judgment, the Lovers. I might look at all the major arcanas actually, and Seven of Swords. I want to know about that, and the Nine of Cups. A change in the wind is your oracle card. Yeah. Expect that 2 to 3 weeks into March, okay? Interesting times for you, Aquarius. Interesting times. You get meditation. Now, I think that you don't literally have to meditate. I mean, I find meditation really difficult. But you're kind of knowing your answer to the ultimate question, which is the Lover's card, or the choice that you need to make, will be very much, yes, I had to have the card underneath the Lovers. 8 of Wands, movement. Expect that when Mercury goes direct, okay? Which I think, I mean, it's about the 10th of March, but for me, it's about the 3rd week in. It's really when we get that new moon in Aries. Expect to hear from somebody, okay? Well, I'll also look at that in the extended. Meditating is about knowing rather than calculating. It's knowing that comes from deep within, okay? Don't discount your gut reactions, your intuition. Whew, I'm going to go and do the extended reading. The link's in the description box. Do share the video, hit the like button, and I'll see you soon, Aquarius. Namaste.